So today I want to cover, for jumping spiders, instars. So basically, what is an instar, how many instars there are, and what does that mean, I guess, in the community. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those that are new here, I'm Sarah. Instars are essentially the way we show the growth of a spider. So that's how that's how we measure the growth of a spider. So when you hear someone talking about how old a spider is, for jumping spiders specifically, we'll say I and then a number. So the letter I signifies instar, and then the number signifies how many times has this jumping spider molted. And that's where we can gauge how large it is, because once they are done molting, then they are fully mature, and we don't count instars anymore. At that point, they're fully mature, and that's what it is. So instars would start at an I1. I1 is they are still in the egg sac, and they are starting to emerge, but they don't have the coloration, the black. So I1 is that they have their first immersion coming out of the egg. So that would be an I1. I2, still in the egg sac, they are then turning black, so now they've had their second molt. And with that, they may start coming out of the egg sac. I3, they should be out of that egg sac, they're getting a little bit larger. And then I4, a little bit bigger, and so on and so forth. And then typically, as far as how many times will a spider molt, so how many instars will they have, it can range. It's not really like a guaranteed thing per spider. So they could have anywhere between, 8 to 12 molts. I typically have seen most of my males kind of mature out earlier at I9 range. Some have gone a little bit later, and then the females, I've had some molt out to an I12. So it really can depend on the spider. I don't know what makes it that way. I usually say, where your spider's matures when it's either stopped molting for a couple months, and or they have the body parts. So that is where you are seeing the epigeum on the female, so that essentially looks like a shiny belly button on the underside of your female, and it has to be shiny. You can kind of see it when they're a subadult. When it's shiny, that's when you know that they're mature. And then males, they'll have the more pronounced beefy legs, and then they're going to have their pedipalps are going to look like little boxing gloves. So with that, then most likely they are definitely mature. How often do they molt? So it's not completely down to a science. It's just based on observation. But I would say that they molt about once a month or so, especially early on. And their molting tends to be pretty quick, within a couple hours. Usually, I can go to bed in the morning, I see that they've molted. So when they get larger and in the subadult range, that's where I will see that the molting process is taking a little bit longer. They'll be in pre-molt a little bit longer. And so it may not be once a month that they've molted, but maybe once a month plus a couple weeks maybe. So it just kind of ranges. I also want to talk about the definitions between sling, juvenile, subadult, and mature. So these are the different stages that goes along with the instars. So sling is more around the range of an I1 to an I would say I4, and then I5 to I7 or 8 is juvenile. And then I8 to whenever they finish molting, so I12 at the most, would be a subadult. And then from there, they are mature. Jumping spiders, once they've stopped molting and that they are fully mature, they have another year or two with you. So it doesn't mean when they mature that they have a shorter lifespan right afterwards. You do still have time with them to enjoy with them. So when is my preferred time of getting a jumping spider? I think this is a good question to ask, because you have that range of sling, juvenile, subadult, mature. Sling, that's something that is more for breeders. That's when we're dealing with the spiders. There's a lot of losses during this time because they're small, they're fragile, they're still figuring out how to hunt. There's more probabilities of mismolts, so don't recommend getting anything that's I4 or lower. I5 and up is where I would recommend it. I5 is the youngest that I will start selling jumping spiders. At that point, I'd see that they are consistently eating, they're doing good. They may still be on fruit flies, but they're soon to be moving on to like mini mealworms, black soldier fly larvae, or pinhead crickets. Subadult is also a good range to get them into, so that's just before they're hitting maturity. So you still will have a few molts with them, and they're eating solid, like good sized foods, so you're not having to deal with that fruit flies. Mature, you can get them at this stage. Just know that you don't, like, unless you're getting it from a breeder and they know when do they mature out, you don't know how long you're going to have with that spider. So you may be getting an older spider and not realize it and not have as long as a life. So I really think getting it from like I5 to just before they mature, so like an I8, I9, I think is a good range of getting a spider. I prefer getting them smaller because I personally like to see them grow into their own. You get to see like the colors that they change into, especially for the females. Like the boys always stay that black and white. This is also, I also want to preface, this is all about regals. This is who I really specialize in. I know there's a ton of other species out there. I specialize more in the regals. They're the most common out there that a lot of people get as pets. So there may be some variety based on species. But as far as regals, boys are going to always say the black and white. The females are going to be colorful, which is fun. It's different colors. As they molt, they're going to change the colorations. So it's fun seeing them younger and kind of grow into their own. And you get to bond with them a little bit longer too. So you have a few extra months with them. So yeah. I hope that kind of helps with Instars. I don't see too many people explaining it as far as like in the YouTube realm. So I wanted to give this covered because I think that is a key thing to help explain and bring light to the community. Because whenever I try to explain it to people at expos, there's definitely like not a lot of people it's definitely a question that a lot of people have. And it's something that we like as breeders, as people that are in the community longer, we just like start spouting out I5s, I6 sizes and all that, and they have no clue. So this is definitely like a good way to kind of bring in some education around that. So usually with like tarantulas, the difference between like how people size tarantulas versus jumping spiders is that typically tarantulas are sized by leg span. Whereas jumping spiders, that's where we size based on instars. You'll see people that are more tarantula breeders or sellers that they will try to essentially try to size it based on leg span for a jumping spider, but that's not within our normal type of communication for how we size our jumpers. So if you see that out there where in certain shops, if they're calling out numbers that aren't I numbers, that's probably why. Yeah. So I hope this helps. If you have other questions, feel free to toss them down in the comments. Be sure to also check out my Etsy for any 3D printed decor, enclosures, and stuff like that. I'm getting a lot more stuff up there recently. I have a lot more time on my hands, so feel free to check out what I have on there. Also, for those that may not know, I do have a fourth wall and I have some merch on there, so feel free to check that out. I just recently did some Easily Distracted by Spiders merch and I have some with our logo, but another great way to support me. Yeah, so like always, if you like what you see, feel free to follow me, subscribe, hit that button. I appreciate all the support and love you guys give me. I look forward to see you guys in the next video. Yeah. So keep it spooky.